All eyes on the first ever in-person Quad meeting to be attended by Joe Biden, Prime Minister Modi, Mr. Suga and Scott Morrison. The meeting will be held at the White House, a historic moment, and all eyes will be on the message that is being sent by the group. Remember, this is the second Quad summit this year, the first one being held virtually, something that indicates the intent of these leaders. The focus will also be Afghanistan and the Pakistan-China axis that is building, and the top democracies of the world are meeting under one roof for the first time. And these are visuals of the meeting that transpired between Prime Minister Modi and Joe Biden. Ajit Doval with Harsh Singla and S.J. Shankar also there in the frame inside of the Oval Office. We'll have this conversation with our guest. Joining me on the platform is Michael Kugelman, Deputy Director of the Asia Program, Pradeep Kapoor, former Ambassador and Visiting Scholar, George Washington University, Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, former Chief Integrated Defence Staff, Western Command, Mr. Jitendra Ojha, Security and Geopolitical Expert, Ambassador Deepak Vora, former Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, former diplomat. Professor Madhav Nalapat is also joining us on this important conversation.
But I think this relationship is in a very good place. I think that the Quad's resurgence will strengthen the U.S.-India relationship even more. The fact that you're going to have Prime Minister Modi sitting at the same table with the leaders of three preeminent Pacific powers, I think that's a really significant thing. It's going to strengthen the relationship with the U.S., and I think that it'll certainly enhance India's role on the regional stage as well, so to speak. So things are in a pretty good place, despite the notable challenges that do exist in the relationship. And I'd like to think that the events of today just reflect the latest phase in a relationship that continues to grow exponentially, despite the number of shocks that the world has experienced, from the pandemic to U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan and many other things. It's still in a pretty good place, I think.
I just want to say that this relationship, look, I'm delighted that the Prime Minister is in Washington, and I was very happy to see the bonhomie that is so visible between Joe Biden and Narendra Modi. I was very happy to see the ease with which Kamala Harris and Narendra Modi had a conversation. There were so many prophets of doom. I mean, some of us were not among them, who said, oh my God, it's going to be a disastrous meeting and they're going to have fireworks. Nothing of the sort. They were an extremely friendly meeting. Why? Because this is a very consequential relationship. It is, of course, about China. It's also about diversifying supply chains and not being over-reliant on China, the way, unfortunately, India is in some respects. The United States is another.
Right, and Dr. Jalil, do you think the United States has to in fact impose some self-realization that Pakistan is a sensitive point for India, and there has to be some sanctions?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Dr. Jalil. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Pakistan is a sensitive point with India, and there has to be some censorship that has to come forth on behalf of the Americans towards Pakistan. Anthony Blinken has said a few things just a few days back about Pakistan. Kamala Harris has also been a little indicative about what awaits Pakistan if they continue down this road. But for India, that is not enough.
Looks like Pakistan's true colors are being, I don't think American can hide it anymore from what's happening with Afghanistan. It became very apparent to the entire world that what Pakistan has done with the collaboration with the Taliban and how it has happened. So I'm hoping and praying now will they come out and openly support India and be against Pakistan. It might take, as Ambassador Kapoor has mentioned, there is decades of diplomatic relationship, might take time to change, but I'm hoping and wishing that America does it sooner than later, so that it is better for the Americans' own security to understand who is your enemy and who is your friend, and America, be better, stick to India, because it's not just the Pakistan versus issue, it is the Pak-China collaboration, and now it's a trifecta of communism with radical Islam, along with the Chinese foreign money available. So it will be difficult, if America don't stand up to it, it'll be impossible to tackle if it's let it go like this. So that collaboration is dangerous, and it will be undermining all democracies in the world if radical Islam and terrorism are flourishing with the Chinese capital and the Chinese Communist Party be in charge of it.
Yes, sir.
I said that the world is very different from what it was in last century, previous century, 20th century. Russia was a reality. We very much needed Russia because all said and done, Professor had pointed it out, how the receding imperial powers, they were hostile towards us, they were very suspicious of us. So at that point of time, Russia stood by us. This is what we understand. We don't know the detail. But the world is extremely different right now. But all said and done, I feel that in diplomacy, you need to engage everyone, if directly or indirectly, whosoever it is, even if they are our traditional friends.
The strategic concerns of weapons and technology is concerned. Till USA proves itself to be of real value.
Okay, Admiral Sinha.
We still have about 58% of the military items which are of Russian origin, and we are dependent on them. So therefore, to bandwagon, vacate them is not a possibility. I have differed with Professor Nalapat on this on number of times, but it is right that we have to find more baskets. And as you know that last year, US was the largest sort of weapon supplier to India in terms of value. And I think it's going to continue. As you see, the helicopters have come, and now the other equipment are already on the pipeline, which we will get to know slowly. But I think
I dare not disagree with what the learned Admiral and Professor Nalapat have said. There's just one thing, and I'd request Professor Chali to help us out in this. Sir, please reassure your American friends that the S-400 is not going to target any American planes flying over it. It's meant for our own defense, and we don't intend to shoot down any of your planes that come here. Secondly, sir, we do that in the 50s and still.
Meeting the Quad we've had. This grouping of democratic partners who share a worldview and have a common vision for the future, coming together to take on key challenges of our age, from COVID to climate to emerging technologies. It embodies an approach I spoke of at the UN earlier this week.
अपनी साझा डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यूज के आधार पर क्वाड ने पॉजिटिव सोच, पॉजिटिव अप्रोच के साथ आगे बढ़ने का निर्णय लिया है। सप्लाई चेन हो या वैश्विक सुरक्षा हो, क्लाइमेट एक्शन हो या कोविड रिस्पांस या फिर टेक्नोलॉजी में सहयोग, इन सभी विषयों पर मुझे अपने साथियों से चर्चा करते बहुत खुशी होगी। हमारा क्वाड एक तरह से फोर्स फॉर ग्लोबल गुड की भूमिका में काम करेगा। मुझे विश्वास है क्वाड में हमारा सहयोग इंडो पैसिफिक में और विश्व में शांति और समृद्धि सुनिश्चित करेगा। धन्यवाद।
ジョー・モディさん、またそこも再開は大変嬉しく思います。ジョーのリーダーシップによって3月に約束した通り、史上初の対面での首脳会合を実現することができました。これは4カ国の強い結束と自由で開かれた